So when I got into UCLA, the admissions rate was 70%. I had to apply twice to get in. Now, or this year, it'll be 9%. So what that means is unless you are one of two cohorts, those being the children of rich people who can afford test prep, who have friends that can nudge the admissions committee or wealthy donors to give a second or a third look to your application, or two, you're part of a cohort that I would affectionately refer to as freakishly remarkable, you're not getting the same opportunities my generation had. I think that higher education represents a dangerous trend in America where we've fallen out of love with the remarkables. We've decided our economy is a platform to turn the top 1% into billionaires, and that's not what America is about. America is about taking the bottom 90% and giving us a shot at the top 10%. So the reason I'm here staring into this camera is because of the generosity and vision of California taxpayers in the Regents of the University of California. So simply put, we need to fall back in love with unremarkable kids.
Well, walk me through where you were at in life when you got accepted.
So raised by a single immigrant mother who lived and died a secretary, household income never over $35,000. I got 1,050 on the SAT, which is just okay. So I didn't test well, but I didn't have great grades either. But the University of California, I remember when they let me in on appeal, I remember the exact words. They said, "You're not qualified, but you're a native son of California, so we're going to give you a shot." And I worry that universities in this gestalt around exclusivity, where schools have decided that they're Hermes, not public servants, and get drunk off rejecting 85, 90% of their applicants, which in my view is tantamount to the head of a homeless shelter bragging the next morning that they turned away 9 in 10 people who showed up last night. We've forgotten that we're no longer public servants, that we believe we're luxury brands. And I think it's turned higher education, morphed higher education from being the greatest upward lubricant of the middle class in history to the enforcer of the caste system. Every day, the administrators and tenured faculty of administrators ask themselves the same question. That is, how do we reduce our accountability and increase our compensation? And unfortunately, the strategy for that is rejecting qualified, good kids, not amazing kids, but good kids from middle-class homes. We have lost the script in higher education.
You said the script isn't working, the model isn't working. How can we change it? What should it look like?
First off, 2 out of 3 students in America in higher ed go to public schools. So where we move the needle is with public schools. We're obsessed with the Ivy League, but they'll graduate fewer students in the entire Ivy League than Florida State this year. So we got to invest in our public schools. One, I think we need sort of a grand bargain, and that is we encourage them to use a mix of small and big tech to embrace remote learning such that we can double supply and dramatically increase admissions rates. I think we need more government funding. I think universities need to be more accepting of other ideologies such that half of state legislatures don't see universities as totally contrary to their ideology. I think we need to acknowledge that 2 out of 3 young Americans are not going to end up with a traditional bachelor's degree, so we need to create more vocational learning and opportunities. And probably most importantly, the most interesting or profound thing that happened in higher education didn't happen in higher education this year, and that is great firms, including Apple and Xerox, have decided they're going to create a certain number of entry-level jobs for people without college degrees. We have to de-fetishize the obsession with the college degree. So corporate America needs to stop obsessing over graduates from elite universities. As citizens, we need to reinvest in our great public universities. As administrators and leaders, we need to take more responsibility for delivering education at a lower cost and stop the Hermesification of universities where we get drunk on exclusivity. And corporations need to create more on-ramps to the greatest creation or creator or platform of wealth in history, and that's U.S. corporation, and recognize that not everyone has the same opportunities to go to school. When you decide as a company that you're going to only hire people from elite universities, you've made the conscious decision to hire fewer people of color, fewer people from single-parent families, and fewer people that don't demonstrate freakishly remarkable behavior by the time they're 17.